Hey, folks.
Hey, Mr. Mayor, I guess we're all set to go.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I'm going to call the order the infrastructure meeting for March. The roll call of members, Councilor Moore here, Councilor Kelly,
Here.
Councilor Talon,
I am here.
and Mayor Rosenquist.
Here.
Very good. At this time, entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the February 7th Infrastructure Committee meeting, which you've all read.
Moved.
Second, I'll second, or Councilor Kelly second. Are there any changes or corrections? If not, all in favor of approving the minutes of last month, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Moving on, 2.1, draft resolution, wastewater recovery plant, liquid alum bid award.
Motion.
We have motion for that?
Motion.
Second. The discussion. Looks like that's the low bid, so I don't see any questions. All in favor of moving this to the council meeting, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion is carried. Okay. Draft resolution 2.2, laboratory services for the water resource recovery facility contract, WRF 2022-3.
Motion.
Second. I can't see you good, Jennifer, so you have to like wave your hand a little bit because you're in the big wide full council. Any discussion? There's another, looks like a low bid, so being no discussion, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion is carried. Okay, 2.3, draft resolution, Aki landfill post-closure monitoring service.
Motion.
Second,
Second.
Councilor Kelly, second.
I have a question about this one. Is this the organization we used to do this in previous years, or are we changing providers?
I didn't catch all of that, Mike.
I believe we're thinking about awarding this contract to Martin and Judas. Is that right?
Yes, it's a contract with Barton with Judas.
Have we been our provider of this service in past years, John?
Yes, they've been our provider of this service for a number of years.
Okay. I couldn't remember. I appreciate that, John.
Okay.
Maybe some counselors who don't know about the Yankee landfill, and it might be good to update us on it sometime, John.
Okay, I'm happy to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I take it this is going to go on forever, right?
Possibly, at least 30 years from the time it was reclosed, so probably 10 years into that. But the costs have been going down over the years. Originally, we had to do a lot more extensive monitoring, and Barton and Judas has been able to provide the data and the argument to the DEC that reduced monitoring is appropriate. So this used to cost about $30,000 a year. Now we're down, around 15. So hopefully those costs will keep going down.
Thank you, John. Any other questions on this item? If not, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor of moving this to the regular agenda, please signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed? And motion is carried. 2.4 draft resolution, Mead Reservoir quarterly inspection services. Entertain a motion to move this to the regular agenda.
Motion.
Second that one. Okay, any discussion? I have one question about this, John. Maybe you could answer this. Is this something we could do ourselves, or is this something that, requires some expertise?
Somebody that, something that requires expertise, somebody that really knows what they're doing when it comes to dam safety.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering that, and that's required to do quarterly?
Correct.
Wow. Yeah, okay, very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, all in favor of moving this to regular agenda, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, motion is carried. Community development, resolution for maintenance agreement for the Art Parks splash pad.
Motion.
I'll second. Any discussion? This is a new one. So, explain this one to us, Matt.
Yeah, this resolution is for a maintenance agreement with Pipeline Mechanical, who did the bulk of the plumbing work for the splash pad when it was installed in the Arts Park last year. It's a highly complex piece of equipment with a combination of electronics and plumbing all working together. In speaking with DPW, we were all more comfortable with a specialist being on call to assist the city with the larger maintenance issues that will come up with the splash pad each year, specifically the opening procedures and then the winterization procedures, which in speaking with the manufacturer are the two single most important phases of operating that piece of equipment every year. And if there were to be any major plumbing issues that came up during the year, Pipeline Mechanical would be on call with within a specific number of hours to be on site to fix that issue. Because the splash pad wasn't open for very long last year, but it did receive a heavy amount of use. So I think minimizing the amount of downtime that it experiences in any given summer season, short as it is in the city's best interest.
Anyone have any other questions for Matt? If not, we'll proceed to vote on the item. All in favor of moving this to the regular agenda, please signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed? Motion is carried. Now, Public Works, we have a discussion on an infrastructure report. So let's let Mike take that away. Are you there, Mike?
Yeah, I'm here. Everyone hear me? Okay. Are we going through the complete outline? Or are we talking about the personnel issues to start with, Jeff?
Very good.
I can't hear. I can hardly hear Jeff.
Oh, you can hardly hear me. Wow. I think
Yeah.
He's asking a question. Mike, why don't you start with the infrastructure report, just an update on projects, and then we'll jump into the staffing discussion.
Okay.
Councilor Moore, sorry, Councilor Moore, is that all right?
Yeah, I can hear you guys great. Yeah, go ahead.
Operational activities based on the DPW report here. For the last couple months, we've had 6 significant snow events since Christmas. Unfortunately for us, most of them have occurred around holiday season, which is a lot of overtime and double time. Councilor Moore and myself had a conversation earlier about that. We are trending okay on our overtime for snow and ice this season at about 50% of our budget, but the snowstorms have been untimely. And and it's been a little more severe of a winter than previous winters. Water main leaks, as of right now, things have been pretty quiet. But right before we ended up in our snow events, you can see we had leaks at Oak and Court, Point View Terrace, Terrell Ave, Prospect, 2 out at the Crate Center, City Hall Place, right in front of the Mayor's Coffee Shop of all places. And then also issues at the Crate Center internally with the freeze up, and then on Plant Street, where we had a valve failure. So it was not a good year for water for sure. Freeze ups with the colder than normal winter we've had over 50. I'd say probably 75 freeze ups. When I say freeze ups, this is service lines to houses. Most of them are meter related, where people have basements that will be drafty. They don't seal them up and will break frost plates, or lines will burst in the basements. And then the other routine thing is we've had normal vehicle maintenance activities. We've done very well with the fleet this season as far as the public works fleet. Equipment for the most part has been very reliable. We had to go to our backup truck one time for the main plows. We've also taken on a good portion of the maintenance of I'd say all the maintenance right now of the PD's vehicles, and so far so good on that. I think we cycled through at least a half dozen vehicles for maintenance, along with taking care of fire trucks and other departments. Moving on to capital activities, the Psap Grant, which we've been talking about forever, will be rebid due to the going beyond the 45-day limit and the actual amounts. So we're going to put that back out to bid. Kogan Ave, we're finalizing punch list items and getting that job ready to punch out in the spring of the year. New York Road, that set of plans for the water line replacement has been complete, and we're preparing to put that out to bid. Beekman Street is in the design phase. We did do test drilling. I think it was back in February. The last time we had this, was it February or March, Andrew?
Yeah, it was February.
In February, okay.
And end of February.
And then the DPW heating system, which is a project that I don't think many people are aware of, but we actually did a full-scale heat plant replacement here at Public Works, both in our main building and our MEO building. We were very fortunate. We got the appliances in time. Everything's up and running well. We're estimating probably a 30 to 40% decrease in fuel usage. That's the good news. Obviously, you know that the price of fuel is going up. So hopefully come spring of the year, once we get out of heating season, I'll be able to give you guys a better update as to how well it's performing. I don't know dollar wise how it's going to be, but I can definitely quantify, or should be able to quantify, the amount of propane or natural gas that was used and went through the appliances. So definitely an improvement here, plus reliability is really big for us. So DPW staffing, currently we have openings for 1 Public Works 2 position. There's a backfill, 1 MEO 1. We still have to hire 2 Public Works 1 employees and 3 laborers. And 2 of those laborers will be dedicated to recreation. We are starting the interview process actually tomorrow. We got the applications back from Civil Service after the canvassing, and we will start plugging those people in if we find the right candidates. And then last is the miscellaneous items. Like I just said, recreation staffing, that will be a big one. We do have a crew supervisor in place, and he's currently working through a extensive list of park items. A lot of the stuff is inside work we're doing right now, picnic tables, benches, getting that stuff ready, getting us stocked for opening parks, looking at what we need for the playing fields, bases, clay, chalk, all the above, also mulch for swing sets, replacing swings. So we're trying to get ahead of this here. The other couple items here, we'll skip over 2 and 3. We'll go to 4 and 5, and then go back to 2 and 3. Number 4, this came up probably, I want to say 2 months ago. We had spoke to the mayor, and it was brought to our attention by some of the other municipalities where the Federal Highway Administration, this is a federal rule that there is now a special 60-hour course to achieve a CDLA license. And this also, comes with about a $4,000 to $5,000 price tag per person. That's if you're starting from scratch. We did generate a letter which the mayor had forwarded on to the appropriate higher ups in government, hopefully trying to get it waived for municipalities. Haven't heard much back on that. I don't know if there's going to be much headway, but we do have to be diligent at trying to stay ahead of this. It'd be nice if we could hire people off the street with the correct licenses. If we aren't able to, we're going to have to figure out where we go, and are we going to be paying people to take this class, and then with a contingency that they have to work for the city for a certain period of time. So just want to make you guys aware of that. Currently, like I said, I believe the applications we have the appropriate licenses. So that's good. That's the good news. The bad news is it also, having a license makes our employees attractive to other employers, which I hope that there's not cherry picking going on with that. The other thing that's become to my attention is basically all purchasing. I have down motor fleet, but we've been investigating, capital equipment. What is it going to take? And one of the items for this year was a trailer. Well, a trailer that would normally be a stock item, they're talking 90 weeks lead time. So I did some snooping around for some of the other things that we have coming up in the next couple of years. Trucks, heavy plow trucks, for instance, we're talking 18 to 24 months. So we're talking two-year lead time. So I think we're going to need to have a conversation once we I nail down if you could even price a truck out that far. How do we get a production slot and be prepared for these upcoming purchases that we're going to have? And even light trucks, which we were scheduled for, I think 3 to 4 this year, that's a non-starter. They said don't even talk to us until 2023. So just stuff we're going to have to work around. Currently, our fleet's adequate. Some things are very strong, and we have some weak areas, but we'll make it through. But we definitely got to stay ahead of it. And then last but not least, the two items 2 and 3, which is the assistant superintendent and engineering technician positions. This goes back to I think we called it the TISPIM position, trying to solve that problem that we had brought to the council during the budget sessions, looking for extra help. And the best we could come up with is we have room within our operating budget with the payroll to make this work. And this is something that I'd like to see happen to help us out. Particularly the engineering technician, we know what that position is. And then the assistant superintendent position, Councilor Moore had asked me to elaborate a little bit more about why we need it and what it is. And I think, we've got to this point because when the city decided to right size or downsize, or however we want to call it, we eliminated positions, not thinking about necessarily who's going to cover all the bases and who's going to get this work done. And we've made it work. John and Andrew and myself have beat each other up over the years, trying to figure this stuff out. And now it's time to try to get it right. I know that we don't want a city engineer. I think the council's made that very clear, and it's been told to me multiple times. But I do believe that another engineering technician and upgrading to a assistant superintendent gives us the ability to get this job or these jobs done and get us that much farther along. When we talk about the assistant superintendent position, it won't be just a person to assist me. You're talking about, coordination of local design service agreement programs, working to develop the capital plan, capital project oversight, which is all these things that we're trying to fill in now, whether it be the Psap grant, road reconstruction, being involved in, grants that pertain to us, and helping out with that, coordinating pedestrian bridge inspections, water and sewer design, figuring out where we're going in the next steps. We've been doing that, kind of ham and egging it, but we definitely need, the extra help, and that's where the engineering technician would come in. Is he will actually be doing the job that hasn't been getting done, and Andrew's been doing these other activities. So that, along with a whole long list of things, is the reasons we believe that we should be going this direction. Questions?
Thanks for that, Mike, and just for this committee and for the other counselors who eventually will need to vote on this. A lot of what we had led up to this was a request, as Mike noted, a request in the beginning of the year during the budget cycle to add an additional resources to cover a lot of the construction and construction oversight work that we really desperately need, rather than one paying for it, but somebody that is in-house, that is focused on what the city of Plattsburgh's priorities are. In my conversation with both Andrew and Mike, as well as my conversations with Councilor Moore and Councilor Kelly, I think it was really abundantly clear and very important to ensure that this request remain budget neutral, if not save the city money, the general fund, some money. I think right now our overall estimated savings is right around, we need to fine tune this a bit, but it's going to be right around $30,000 to $45,000 a year annual in permanent payroll savings with the current budget. So again, we need to fine tune some of these numbers. The budgeted spreadsheet is in the March infrastructure folder that's shared with everybody to review. But again, like I said, we need to go back through that DPW staffing request spreadsheet, which compares the 2020 approved payrolls for DPW and the 2022 requested changes that we're asking to be made in this restructuring, if you will.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, we went over the budget. It wasn't, we weren't looking at, no, we didn't need the person. We were just, it was a budgetary issue. And I know you're telling me that we could maybe somehow make this budget neutral, and I'm very interested in seeing how that would work.
Yeah, and I believe that how, when Mike, Andrew, and myself sat down and worked through some of these changes, part of it was the restructuring that we did for rec in DPW, and then looking at some of the resources that we could move around and re-leverage internally. Hold on one second. Some of the resources that we can move around internally in DPW, and then save some of that work and spreading out the existing resources, as long as we had a little bit more oversight and management to manage those resources better. So, but like I said, I think the important piece, sorry, Mike, I think the important piece here is that we are asking for this position to be, for the department to be restructured. It is budget neutral and saves the general fund, like I said, anywhere between $30,000 to $45,000 annually, without looking to add more staffing in the future. Sorry, Mike.
We talked about eliminating an MEO position and a general laborer position, I believe. And is that Michael shaking his head? Is that not correct?
We're looking at either it's going to be a combination of a public works maintenance one and a laborer, or two public works maintenance ones.
Okay.
The MEO
I
will
guess
stay.
The MEO will stay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
The question that I have is, going forward, do you see a need for those employees anytime in the future? You know, if you're going to give them up this year so that you can hire an assistant superintendent, are you gonna come back and tell us that you need those people in a couple of years, or are these permanent savings we can count on?
I would say no, unless the scope of my work increases. It seems like every year my scope increases, but my staff doesn't. So if we stay where we're at, I believe I should be comfortable with that. We've been doing quite a bit with what we had since I've been here. I think if you guys look historically at how I spend our money, we never are fully staffed. Our roster usually has vacancies, even though we have the monies and we make it work. Temporaries, we ran with like one temporary all year, which normally we have up to 6. So to answer your question, I don't want any more employees. I'm not going to ask for any more, but if you increase my amount of work, yeah, I could be coming back, say, hey, listen, fellas, what you doing to me here?
Well, the concern is, Michael, if we're going to take, those 2 positions away to fund this new position, that means that money won't be available to, replace those 2 positions should they ever come up again. Now, I don't want to cut you short. I don't want to leave you short. If you need people, you need people. But I just want to make sure that you're this assistant supervisor or superintendent is going to meet your needs for years to come. And
I believe there's more value in making this move. And then the key, and we had a conversation prior to this about is the hiring an engineering technician. That's a process in itself. We're not hiring a laborer. This is a high skill position. It probably will take in excess of 6 months to find the right person, get them through and tested. I mean, this is a very, very important thing. And, Andrew, finding Andrew, we were very fortunate and able to fill that position when we put him in there. But the same type of vetting will have to go on. I mean, you don't take hiring a manager lightly by any means. So I would say that yes, this not only will make our lives easier, but it will help the city overall and the value of it. Better management overall. Better able to achieve and provide a better product for you guys. I don't think, like I said, we've limped by with the staff we have currently, and like I said, unless you decide to spring something on us that, and that happens, I don't foresee us wanting extra bodies. 40, I think that puts our roster at 48.
Okay, thank you. Well, one other question, are you going to have difficulty filling this position? I know you've had some tremendous difficulties filling positions for other job titles. What do you think the outcome is, or the forecast is for this one?
Unfortunately, I wish I could say I was very confident, but I'm not very confident right now. We have to make a decision whether we want to post it on the street, whether we want to ask civil service to do an exam. I find that we've had this conversation. I know John has been involved in it about trying. That's why we had talked about the TISPIN position, getting people out there finding what kind of talent's available. So it could be a difficult road ahead of us here, guys.
Well, Mike, would that would be something very similar to what Andrew does now? I know he's been pulled into public works a little more than what was probably intended when he first took the job. Is that what we're looking for, or what you would be for to?
Yeah, that's exactly what we're looking for. We're looking for an engineering technician with the same skill sets that Andrew brought to the table when he showed up here. His specialty was surveying, drafting. He was a true engineering technician, civil based, and that's what we're looking for sure. Able to go out, understand street construction, utility construction in the field, and be able to communicate effectively back to us in the office, and also with other people throughout the city, whether he's talking to me or any of you guys. That's for sure what we're looking for.
Thank you. Is there any other questions for Mike? I think you explained that pretty well. I guess we can bring this to the other counselors to talk with now that brought this out.
Is this something you wanted to get on the agenda for the next council meeting?
It would be my intention to move that to the next council meeting, which would be not this Thursday, but the following Thursday.
Do we need a motion to do that at this meeting?
We do not, given that it would be a mayoral appointment with council approval.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I guess everyone has had their questions answered. This time, is there any new business? If not, I don't know if there's any public comment, people. I don't think so, but Beth, is there anybody trying to do any comment?
No.
Okay. Then I guess the next thing would be to move to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second. I'm sorry, Jennifer, I can't really see you, so if you did second some things. Oh, now all right, thanks. Okay, all in favor of adjourning, please signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed, I didn't hear anybody not say aye, so this meeting is adjourned. Thank you
Thanks,
very much.